Welcome to the Reticle Up podcast, where I, 3-Gun Kenzie, will be interviewing competitive shooters, hunters, fishermen, archers, entrepreneurs, and outdoorsmen. Come learn with me as I interview people from all walks of life, in different disciplines, all across the world, from novices to professionals of all ages. No matter what, everyone has something they can teach you, so come join me on the journey. Hey everyone listening. This week I have Matthew Wolff on the podcast. He is a master in open, shoots USPSA, and he's still a junior competitive shooter. So Matthew, how are you?
I'm doing good. First off, thank you for letting me on.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Yeah, first junior shooter. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, there's not many out there.
No. And I mean, not many have the opportunity either.
No. Yeah.
So kicking it off. Let's start there. How old are you, and when did you first shoot a match?
So I am turning 17 next month.
Nice. Wait, what day?
2nd.
I'm the 4th. Oh, that's cool. I'll remember that.
And I started shooting, well, take a guess whenever I started shooting.
Were you 8 years old?
10, but yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, I've been doing this for 7 years.
It's so cool. So do you remember your first match?
Only from seeing videos earlier this week.
You don't remember it?
Not fully. No.
Okay. What did you shoot? What was it, USPSA still?
Yeah. I actually shot a Ruger SR-22.
Oh, they let you do that?
Seeing how I was 10, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Did you
actually at the same range that I shoot at, and I will be shooting this weekend?
Nice. Did you start from low ready? Did you have a holster? What?
I had a holster
for the 22.
Yeah.
So did you reload on the stages?
Yep.
Oh, so you did everything.
Yeah. I just with a 22 for a couple months, and I moved to M&P 9.
Nice. Couple of months. You're already on 9mm at 10 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this your dad, your mom, family? Who got you into this?
Dad.
Did he compete as well?
He competed for about a year before I started.
So why does he not compete anymore?
He still does.
Oh, okay.
He still does.
Good. Who's more competitive, you or him?
We're both very competitive. We haven't really been competitive in a while since I moved to open, because he still shoots limited.
Are you saying that he's not as good? What are you?
No, just we haven't shot the same division in
Gotcha.
a little while.
Yeah, you can't compare apples to oranges.
Especially with an open gun.
There you go. So what do you shoot now? What is the open gun?
Well, so the top end is a Brazos. Cool. And then we got all the other parts and put it together ourselves.
Nice, and it works. That's pretty cool. So he started shooting then, your dad, before you, and then kind of got you into it?
So my dad got into it, then he got my brother into it, then he got me into it.
Is your brother older?
Yeah, 4 years older.
The whole family goes.
Well, my brother doesn't do it anymore, but yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So what did you love about it? Tell me a story about, getting in and growing up in the sport.
I was watching a video, and there's a lot of the same people that were there whenever I started that I still talk to pretty much on a weekly basis.
That's cool.
So it's just mostly a second family.
Yeah, it's a good community to grow up in.
Yeah.
When did you kind of get the bug or realize, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do,
Funny enough, 2 years ago.
So recent.
So I was doing it just to get out with my dad and all that. But then I started taking it serious about July of 2019.
Okay.
And then I actually got my first trophy from a major a couple months later. I think it was September.
So why?
There's a trophy on my wall over there, if you can't tell.
I love it. So what made you get serious? I mean, what was that turning point, and what'd you do?
I just started looking at scores more, focusing more on full work and all that. And I don't really remember what it was, but it just kind of clicked that you're actually doing decent at this. You've got nothing else going on. Let's get going.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes juniors kind of have this less like level of fear, right?
I also think it was also, yeah, there's a lot of juniors that don't really care or because it's just another thing for them.
Yeah. What were you gonna say before that?
I think it was also how much money we were spending into shooting and me not taking it serious is just like,
Yeah. Yep. That's good though. You did that in 2019. So, what divisions you shot 22? Did you go straight to limited 9 or
yeah,
what was all of that?
limited
Okay.
9.
Was that minor power factor?
Yeah.
So, what was the big difference that you saw like an improvement going from minor power factor to major power factor for
So
points?
funny story is I was sitting in C class for a year with my 9mm. Then I actually got this one
Okay, what is that one?
and the 2011 40 cal.
There you go. Okay, for people listening, they don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. And I just went in like a couple weeks to B class
Really?
from sitting in C for like a year. Yeah.
Yeah, so just switching to major points. So for people
Yeah.
listening, like, do you want to explain the difference in those power
So the
factors?
main difference is alphas are still the same. Charlie's, it's a point less. Everything is a point less with minor. So with major, you kind of get more lax with your sight focus.
Yeah.
And I think that was the big thing was the extra points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
Because
awesome.
at the time I was just shooting at targets.
Yeah. Yeah. So moving from like the Smith and Wesson you said to a limited, like a 20 or 2011 at least model.
Yeah.
Like why was that such a game changer too for people who don't know the difference, right?
I don't really remember what it was. Again, this was like 5 years ago.
Sure.
So that's a while in my life comparatively for some people. But it's like I don't fully remember. Like I think it was mostly the major power factor that changed a lot.
Yeah. But do you feel like you would go back down, right? From a 2011, back to a polymer gun or
I have messed around with carry optics with
okay.
the Koenig. And I may do that after that. I'm not sure. I may go back to limited or just stay open and try to get Grandmaster. I don't fully know what I'm doing yet.
Nice, nice. But
I'm gonna kind of just let it go till after that.
okay. So your goal is nationals, open nationals, correct?
Yep.
And you want to bump to GM or you want to hit GM before that?
So my main goal is either GM or master in both limited and open by 21.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
So limited, I'm quite a bit off because I got a match bump into A. So I got a while before that.
Okay.
And open, I'm at like 87%.
Okay.
So quite a bit off again.
Yeah. Cool.
So we'll see.
Those are some good goals though. So what are you doing to train for nationals?
Just focusing on little things I can see in my own shooting.
And what are
And
those?
also, so like a lot of my things is I throw a lot of extra rounds.
Okay.
I get lazy on my sight pictures. And also, we joined the Castro Shooting Academy.
Okay.
And he points things out for me.
So you got a mentor to change the little things.
Yeah. And also with my dad doing it with me, he keeps me honest.
That's awesome. So when you're talking about like again focusing I guess on those not shooting an extra target for people that don't know, right? When you send an extra round, sometimes you hit the target 3 times still, right? Or you're making up a Charlie with a delta, or you're you're not confident
or
in your shooting.
Triple alpha or whatever.
Right. Talk about the difference in like the time it takes to make that extra shot versus like if really making that point up, was a beneficial thing.
I can get around 15 splits depending on the distance. Like I think 5 yards and in, I can pull 15 consistently.
Okay.
So if you really think about that, extra 15 can add up quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on distance, it gets longer or shorter or whatever. So it adds up quick. Because I would throw 3, 4, 5 makeups a stage.
Oof. Yeah.
Whenever people my level are doing 3 a match.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of extra time I'm wasting on extra shots and everything.
Yeah. So are you trying to rather be confident, throw 2, and if you have a mic, you have a mic, rather than keep on throwing extra rounds?
That's what I'm doing in locals, and just kind of hoping it keeps on going with majors and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's a place to do it. What's the
Mm-hmm.
difference between, locals where you talk about that? Like, how do you test yourself at local matches? What do you do differently?
So locals is where I do the stupid stuff, or I tried new things or whatever, because it doesn't matter if I win or lose. I mean, it's just a bragging rights. It's not like I'm winning a trophy.
Yeah.
Not winning money. It's just bragging rights at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So why not just try to improve yourself?
Exactly. So when you go to a local, do you set goals for that where you say, I'm going to shoot 2 only, I'm going to work on exits, and what do you do differently? What do you set goals for on those days?
So the most recent match, my biggest thing I want to work on was having my gun up before I get into position. So like a step or 2 before I'm shooting, before the wall opens up to the targets.
Mm-hmm.
So my entire goal that match was to do that every single spot, every single target, and it went pretty well. I had the fastest time at that match, but not much, but there were some good shooters that match.
That's awesome. You pushed yourself. Something I want to talk about that I've been trying to work on, and I'm pretty bad about it. Can you talk about running into position, like with a firearm? Say you have a really long run from box to another shooting box. Do you run one-handed? Like, how do you put this? Some people run sideways with the firearm. Like, what does that look like?
So anything like 5 or 6 steps and in, I keep both hands on the gun.
Okay.
And keep it up, ready to start shooting as soon as I can.
Okay.
Anything farther, I will drop it and sprint.
Okay. So you're kind of pushing the gun down, but you're keeping it, from the one hand you're running with. Okay, one hand on the gun.
Yeah.
Okay. What about retreats? How do you do those?
I drop it behind me. I kind of fly it like a kite.
Yeah.
Going to my left, I drop it like a kite. My right, I have it over my shoulder.
That's a really good tip for people. So I don't do that, but I've never known anything, other than what I've been doing. Right. But I watched Josh Freilich shoot a retreat pistol stage at Nordic, which was 3-gun, but it was pistol stage. And he did that. So he turns, because he went left, turned to the left, put the gun, underneath him, and ran back.
So pretty much, for people listening, I'm going to show it. So I do this and I just drop and just run like that.
Yep.
Actually, at South Carolina, the backup stage.
Yep.
That's what I did.
Okay. Smart. And then for over the shoulder, just don't flag yourself.
Yeah. Sometimes, depending on how far away back to the right it is, I will keep both hands like this. And just as I'm coming back, I roll my thumb back.
Gotcha. Okay. How important is it to be flexible in not always turning to the left, not always turning to the right? Like, how important is it to have, the capabilities to do any direction?
It really depends on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
So, like at the one we were mentioning about South Carolina, you had to go back no matter what.
Yeah.
And it was either back to the right, adding more steps, or back to the left, which is sometimes more dangerous if you cannot do it correctly.
Yeah. Especially with walls there.
Yeah, especially with how close people wanted to get to the walls.
But yeah, I think a lot of people get in the comfort zone, though, of always running to one specific shoulder, right? When that probably or might not always be the fastest stage plan.
Yeah.
And that's where you should be. Like, that's kind of the difference sometimes between a class or, being able to do anything else.
Like I say to some people I've met at matches is B class and below, I would do more comfort A class and above start going for the best stage planes and everything.
Cool.
I mean, if you're very confident in your skill at B and C and all that, go right ahead.
Yeah.
But there's some I've seen that aren't really
We'll pass
shouldn't be
that.
pushing that hard, but they do.
So, okay, you've got almost 17, 8. So you've got almost a year, not even 13 months left as a junior, right?
Yep.
Are you preparing to age out?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
So the worst part about it is some of the best juniors in the nation are only a couple months older than me. Like Justine is only a couple months older than me. So I'm like, so there's possibly not a Nats where I'm not competing against her in junior.
Right.
So I'd treat it like any other time. I'd shoot like I'm a master. Then I look at masters and I compete there.
Gotcha. So you're playing in class, but
yeah.
I mean, like, how is that going to change, or what changes? Is there something that, juniors, I guess, I mean, they are spoiled a little bit. Yeah. Just a little.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
So are you prepared for that 18-year-old mark?
Most of the people I hang out with do not spoil me. They will tell me straight up what I did wrong or if I did something wrong. Because I've known them since I was 10.
Yeah.
A lot of them are like another father to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
okay.
They've known me for all these years.
That's helpful though. You don't want people to just say, hey, great job. You want people to give you feedback to grow, right?
Yeah. In the last couple of years, people have stopped like treating me like a little kid because I do not look like one.
You're pretty tall. Yeah.
Yeah. You've seen it. I am 6 foot tall. I do not look like a little kid.
Sure.
I look like an average adult.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Do you feel like, I mean, okay, going back to, we don't have to go back down to like 10 years old, but do you think that like that's helped you improve by not just, hey, good job, whatever. Like now you're like, oh, like, hey, you've got skills, people are noticing it, and then they're trying to critique you to get you like, better.
I did see that sometimes, but some people, like a lot of my friends, like my dad, will just straight up tell me I suck or at something or whatever. But there has been some people that say in a nice way, where like, so it's good and bad for the nice way.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the nice way can be taken as it's not a huge deal to fix it, but at the same time, could be a big thing.
Right.
So a lot of those people keep me humble.
You need that. Yeah. Yeah. How important is that though in this game to be that good?
It is very important to be humble.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, trust your skills and everything, but be humble at the same time.
I love this.
Nobody is really the best shooter. There's always somebody that can beat you.
Yeah. If you look at major matches, how often do those top people change? Like there's not one person dominating every single time. Throughout the years, it flips, even if they're top 3.
Quite a bit.
They're moving.
I mean, okay, let's not mention that Max is winning all 4.
Crushing everyone. Yeah, it was cool to watch him shoot. Even Two Gun.
They're a whole different beast.
That's crazy. Watching Two Gun, he was the only one that had under 40 seconds on my stage. Everyone else was 40 plus. He's like 39. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah. At A6, I was lucky enough to hang out with that squad all day.
Yeah. Oh. What did you learn?
That he is a monster.
But I mean, from his shooting, what'd you watch?
Some footwork stuff and stage planning and all that. And at the same time, Isaac was there, Aaron was there, Jesse was there, so I was also BSing with them.
Yep.
So it was just hanging out.
So okay,
Lena was also there, so it was a whole
crew. Yeah. I remember seeing that. Okay, growing up though, you've gotten to shoot, like you said, Aaron Sellers, Jessica Doran, Isaac Hansen's amazing. How do those people like push you and help keep you like competitive?
So Jessie is the biggest one because I shoot with her on a weekly basis most times.
Yeah.
And she's shy to most people, but she will make fun of me or whatever, or mess with me if she like completely destroys me.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the biggest that will keep me humble.
I like it.
But I
you
also
normally go after her.
We're at
Because
the point
nobody
where
goes alphabetical by last name with S starting at the bottom. Like rarely.
Yeah.
So you watch her.
Yeah.
But what is that like? I mean, are you guys, competing to do the same? Is it normally the same stage plans is where I'm getting at?
Most of the time, yes.
Okay.
Just because like open and PCC.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some that there's right to left movements or some movements that she doesn't fully feel comfortable with at like a major or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That I'll do. But other than that, most of the time it's me and her making stage plans and then our parents making them because they both shoot limited.
Okay.
And me and her shoot PCC and open.
That's awesome. That's something you want to bring up. Talk about how, like, when you're on a squad with people, you want a squad with people that are in the same division, right? Or like have the same stage plan. Because open, you're not going to reload as much. Production, they're going to have a completely different game plan, right? But then PCC, same thing. Talk about like what, discussing that and squatting with people that can help you.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is remembering your division and how you shoot. Remember your skill set. Don't always try chase after the big dogs if you're shooting with them. Like area 8 last year, I shot with Vlieger.
Yep.
And I was nervous as all get out because one of the top open guys. So I try to push myself way too hard. And it cost me, I don't remember how many mics or whatever, but it was not pretty.
Yeah. Because you think
it doesn't help at the same time, like bullets with tumbling and all, but let's not mention that.
No, we won't mention that. But you're right. People get on these squads and you have to know your level. You also have to know where you can play with your level too, right? Where you can kind of go a little bit above it.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to keep up with someone that you can't compare yourself to where they're at.
Yeah.
If you're not on their level, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's what costs you.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks easy to execute, but it's not.
Yeah.
So
even at locals, people try to copy what I do. I mean, that's how you learn. So. Right. But at locals, I would maybe copy people. Just be safe about it. But at majors, don't copy people unless you know you can do it.
Right.
Proficiently.
I like it. It's good advice. So when you go to match, what are some of like your external stressors that you have to block out before shooting? You said school.
Yeah. Because that's all I got going on really, other than shooting. It's school.
How are you balancing all that?
I do school during the week, then I mostly going to matches, I listen to music to just kind of clear my head.
Okay.
Every match, I pretty much listen to music before shooting.
Nice.
Just completely clear my head, get ready for the match, and then execute as best as I can.
Yeah. Because what happens if you bring the stress of school to a match?
Then you're not thinking fully clearly.
And then are you wasting time, money, and effort being there?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. So for people listening, how do you set like, I guess like homework time or making sure that your project, even if it's due, after a major, like how do you, get that out of your mind, complete it and do all of those things?
So computing left, there was a huge research paper due, I think, about the same time A6 was. So I was stressed out of my mind. Then whenever it came week of A6, I just completely just took it out of my head, did what I needed to do for A6, and then after I shot, then I sat down, worked on the paper as much as I could, and just kind of went back to school.
Yeah. So you got to do it during the week and then shut it out for the weekend, which can be hard.
Yeah, it is hard sometimes.
Yeah. And you have a year left for high school or 2 years?
I'm graduating in December.
Oh, okay. You're doing it early.
Yeah. I mean, I have one class left, so.
Congrats. What's next then?
Working.
Do you know where? Not yet. So for those listening, Matthew's going to need a job.
My plan was maybe a local Food Lion. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you actually have like a mental game or a mental practice or some sort of ritual, the day before or the morning before a match? Like, what does that look like for you?
Like I said, listen to music.
Okay.
I listen to music most of the car ride. That or mess with Jesse. But
so are you listening to like, raging music? Or like
it really depends on whatever my playlist wants to play whenever I hit shuffle.
Okay.
So
nice.
My playlist has all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, going after graduating, and leaving junior class and stuff, are you planning on continuing shooting, if you go to college or trade school or go, work? What's your plan?
Yes, I really want to continue shooting no matter what.
Yeah. What do you think is going to make that like happen?
We'll see. Because I don't fully know. Probably my dad still.
Yeah. Because does he want you out there shooting? Yeah. I like it.
I think so. I don't know. Sometimes it makes me question. I don't know if maybe or not, but
Yeah. So yeah, how do sponsors and your parents like help keep you shooting matches?
Yeah, so biggest sponsors are Outdoor Dynamics, which is all ammo stuff I need, and then Shooting Sports Innovations that help me with random gun stuff or whatever.
It's awesome. Those are good.
And then my dad is my dad. He does all the behind the scenes work.
Yeah.
All I do is shoot. He does the rest.
3 loads, gunsmiths, cleans?
Yep.
You don't clean your own guns?
Because so funny story actually. One time I helped him clean it, and I put it together wrong. Actually, with my 2011, and my trigger was just dead. So he's like, "Yeah, you're not judging this anymore."
I mean, it isn't his name and it's his money, right?
Yeah.
But still, you don't clean your own guns. You could clean them and have them put them back together. It's terrible. Hey, you're gonna have to do that one day though, right?
I know.
Okay.
But it's also his free time, so.
Okay.
He likes doing it, I think. He says he does, but.
Yeah. All right. So going back to shooting and an M class. So master class and open. What is it going to take for you to reach Grandmaster?
A lot of work and dedication.
On footwork, hits,
everything.
What's
pretty much?
Yeah.
Just, I mean, ask any GM. There's a lot of dedication that you need to put into to get a GM level and even a genuine GM level, not just a paper GM.
Can you explain what that means for people who,
So a paper GM is pretty much just having the classifiers correct and everything, and then just doing terrible at matches, like 70% of the winner.
Mm-hmm. That's terrible. Lower. I'm terrible. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
For GM, let me rephrase that.
No, yeah.
For a GM, you should most likely be above 70.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you if you have a gun problem or whatever, but if it's a consistent below that, it's like, are you really a GM?
There you go. Yeah. He's talking about, when you shoot classifiers, a lot of GMs will practice just classifiers, right? And they'll go to a match and then they'll hit that classifier and then they'll get that level. But then when you have them shooting, right, larger arrays or, the larger courses of fire, medium course of fire, movement, all of that, they can't really execute sometimes to that level.
The paper GMs are good at draws, reloads, transitions, but whenever you get them on a long course, they can't hold up. They can't hold their own.
What about the lovely one-handed weak hand, strong hand shooting?
Don't get me started. I hate that.
Everyone does. Who loves that? If you love it,
APGMs.
like a sadistic person. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so let's talk about your drills. Dry fire and live fire. What do you actually do every day? Or do you?
There's the point. I
That's
don't
the problem.
as much as I do.
Uh-huh.
As I should. I don't. I mean, I find myself getting lazy all the time.
Well, what did you run when you took it serious in 2019? Like, what did you work on?
I mostly focus on actually hitting stuff for one, pushing speed harder than I was, transitions, footwork, pretty much a full 9 yards.
What
Because
kind of,
before then, it was just a kind of lackadaisy.
yeah,
I'm here, I'm shooting, be done with it.
yeah. So we'll go to like the videos. When you look back at videos then, um, what do you see?
So first off, I'm a way different shooter than I was 2 years ago at North Carolina section, which was the last big limited match I shot.
Mhm.
There's a video I shot limited at a local match in October, and if you watch that versus the sectional I just mentioned, it's a hugely different, way more aggressive,
Mm.
way more lower, shooting on the move, everything.
Yeah. Talk about being aggressive and attacking stages. A lot of people don't do that, especially starting out.
Yeah. Starting out, it's not one of those big priorities, but once you get up in the ranks, you're going to have to get aggressive. So
What do you
shooting on the move, getting lower so you have more stable position, correct stance, actually watching your target instead of your sights, being
Yes.
target focused.
And that's with irons or a dot, correct?
Yeah. No matter what you're shooting, you should be target focused.
Yep. And know where the targets are at.
Yeah. Probably 20 yards and in, that's target focused. Anything farther, maybe dot focus or sight focus.
Right. So you know your strength, like, or your limitation. So 20 yards, you know, you're okay. But for other people, that might be 15, 10 starting out, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I had always shot 2 as I open, target focus, because again, I was 10 and I was just throwing lead. But I've always had both my eyes open, whereas like my dad, he's been shooting a lot longer than I have.
Mhm.
And he was taught one eye open while you're shooting iron sights.
Oof.
So he has been going through the whole opening that eye,
Yeah.
seeing the 2 different sights and trying to figure out which one is correct.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
Yep.
And it's hard to master.
Yeah.
That's
And
the biggest thing.
Yeah, if you have like bad habits, right? He's been doing that his whole life. It's really hard to go back. So if you're a newer shooter, start pushing yourself to shoot 2 eyes open before ever even stepping foot on a competition.
Yeah, for sure.
You said, okay, getting low. A lot of people don't know this, and I learned this. It kind of leveled me up about a year and a half ago. When you're shooting on the move, talk about when you're pulling the trigger, like when you're actually taking the shot. You know,
between your footsteps.
There you go, between step. Yeah.
So like your foot is down, and then your other foot lands. That's whenever you should pull the target shot, and then consistently.
Yeah, which is kind of hard to do.
Yeah, it's hard to time sometimes. Because I used to have the bad habit of pulling the same time I'm stepping, so I would jerk it down left.
Right.
And I had that up until pretty much last year.
Okay. That's good. So that's something you worked on.
Oh yeah.
What about oh, go ahead.
I did that a few times. Cost me no shoots, mics.
Yep. That was my next question. How do you differentiate the timing between shots or with shots or shooting on the move with tuxedo targets and no shoots and all of that?
It depends on distance and how wide open they are or not. Like, if it's just a headshot, I'm most likely not going to shoot that on the move. Okay. Unless it's a local, then I might not care. But
okay.
But like a major, I'm probably not going to shoot that on the move.
Yeah.
like if it's headshot only, I'm most likely not going to shoot that move. Sometimes whenever there's a no shoot halfway into alphas, I just aim at Charlie's and shoot it on the move.
Okay.
With open major. With major, I can get away with that.
Yeah. But limited minor or any other, minor power.
Minor, I didn't shoot minor enough focused completely to really know all that. I've been shooting major for a couple 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So this is actually something that I haven't thought of. So yeah, so he's talking about, no shoot, but still the A zone is partially open, right?
Yeah.
Still
it's 50%.
Yeah. And if you're moving, especially, or if it's just more open, like a Charlie is 1 point less in major power factor. It's like, yeah.
It's 4 points instead of 5.
Yeah. So you can kind of just, that's fine. But like in minor, you really are trying to slower down-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
And get that A zone or both A zone hits.
Yeah.
Interesting. So how different is it shooting? Like, what are the biggest differences between iron sights and red dot sights?
How easy it is to see if so like, for example, whenever you're jerking the trigger on a dot, you can visibly see completely that your sight is moving. You can still see it on a limited gun or iron sights, but it's much harder to see if you don't know what you're looking for.
Yes. Yeah. The wiggle, the
little jerk.
Okay. What else?
With a dot, it's a huge.
Yeah.
And also with a dot, you can use it more like a paintbrush, kind of. Okay. So like you just see the dot going up and down instead of, it should be like just a blur of red once you're really target focused and everything. But with irons, it's kind of different where you kind of still have to line it up with the back and everything. Whereas open, I just see some sort of red in the alpha and I pull it.
Okay, so you pull trigger as soon as the dot, the red, the line, whatever moves across that alpha zone. Yeah. Same with steel. That's what I've heard of, is you're not looking to stop the dot.
Yeah, you should not be stopping your dot.
Yeah. Okay.
Really.
You're like coming across.
Should be seeing that kind of blur and pulling.
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. Can you talk about like how shooting with the dot, like we're talking about 2 eyes open, how does that force, yourself to shoot? I mean, I feel like that does more than iron sights. I don't know why. I just feel like dots made me shoot.
It's much easier to do with a dot than an iron sights.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been shooting 2 eyes open since I started, so I didn't have to go from the whole 1 eye open to changing. Luckily, because that is a huge difference. But it's much easier to see both eyes open whenever you're shooting a dot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because iron sights, you have to see both the rear sight and the front sight, where dot, you just have to see it.
The window and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you mount this? Probably stupid questions because I'm just trying to help newer shooters. Where do you mount your dot and carry optics versus open, or is it the same spot?
I haven't really shot carry optics all that much. So
okay. You haven't dabbled in it yet.
I haven't shot it in the match. I've kind of just clinked with it and everything.
Okay. But yeah, for true open, you've got it, slide tapped and all of that. The dot's not actually on the,
It's for watchers. It's right above my ejection port on the slide mount.
Awesome. What dot do you run?
RTS2.
You see red, or I'm a green person, which is weird with fiber optics. So I'm like, I'm gonna find a green dot one day.
I've always shot red fiber optics.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of,
that's cool.
Seeing the red just kind of continued.
Yeah. Can you talk about that tracking a dot? Like you said, it's kind of hard to do on doubles ish, maybe for me. Like, how do you?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
So the big thing is getting skill level with the dot. So like I can see my dot as I'm rapid, like doing a build drill. I see my dot bouncing.
Okay.
I can see my dot bouncing. Whereas whenever I first started, I couldn't. It's just being the visually trained, learning to visually see all that.
Yeah.
Is a huge thing. But you don't want to be watching your dot. You still want to be looking at the target. But you still want to see kind of the red, like I said, the paintbrush.
Are you in trouble if your dot stopped?
I might sometimes, depending on distance.
Yeah.
I trust my index, just my natural point of aim, enough to shoot a stage. But if it's like 20 plus yards away,
Yeah.
maybe not. I haven't really shot without my dot anything further than 15. So
What?
I haven't. Why would I really train with that? It's not one of those things I want to train or
That's where
want to
you get
do.
your paper GM level. This classifier.
Yeah, that's not one thing I want to be.
I'm kidding. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about too is like, do you run a gas pedal on your gun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I run the SSI nitrofin.
So what? The nitrofin, yeah.
Yeah.
So how important is it like with your grip and managing recoil and like really driving the gun and
It's mostly an index point for me.
Okay. For your thumb.
For my thumb. I grip as hard as I can with my left, and my right hand's just sitting there pulling the trigger.
Okay. I like it. Yep.
Some people say not to do that, but it works for me.
Yeah.
So I grip the crap out of my hand. Like most of the time, you can see the dot pokes from the Phoenix Trinity grip in my hand or my fingers as I'm gripping after I shoot.
Yeah.
Which tells me I'm doing it right.
Right. Yeah. Yep. And you have an aggressive grip on there?
Yeah.
It's the way to go.
For sure.
Index point's something that a lot of people don't know about, right? So when you're starting out shooting, there's a lot of books on this, right? And there's a lot of like have 5 points, blah, blah, blah. I know for me, I'll just share mine and you can share like what you do. For limited, I've got my hand where the same exact spot on my right arm is always touching my mag well on my pistol.
Yep.
On the right hand side, and it feels wonky. So for 3-gun, this is where it hurts. 3-gun, if I have shotgun caddies in front of me, and that's normally where my pistol mag pouch is, right? And I rest my arm on that mag pouch and it's not there, I don't have an index point to know what to do with the left hand when I bring it up, right? So talk about your index points and what does that look like on your belt?
So personally, I've never shot 3-gun.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be 3-gun. I just
I'm just putting that out there. But I lay my hand just on my mags and on right about midway in my forearm, like right about here for viewers.
Yeah.
I put that right on my mag well and I just grip up and pull.
Okay. And your left hand, what do you do with all of that and how your mag?
I bring it up to my chest and then push out with the gun.
Yeah. Yep. But how weird is it if you don't have that? Like, you
like an unloaded, like all mags on a barrel is I go for the mag pouch whenever I don't have that. The ghost
grab. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Do you run magnets now?
Yeah, I've always run a magnet. I used to reload off a magnet.
That's what I was wondering.
I don't know why, but I used to.
Oh man. Okay, this is silly, and this is for newbies again, and it's something I learned probably a year ago. How important is it? Maybe you don't do it, but how important is it to like number your magazines and making sure which one's your starter, your Barney, maybe if it has a problem with it, like why do you do that?
So it's pretty much if there's a problem with the mag, then you can differentiate it and not run it again if you're at a match or whatever.
Yeah.
Personally, I only have one big stick, the 170 millimeter. So if that thing goes down, I'm not having a good day. But all my mags have a different color base bed. Okay, so you know which one's what. Yeah. But you do have different. So I have all 3 different sizes for open. I have the 140 millimeters, the 155s, and the 170s. But the colors, what are the colors telling you? Which mag it is. That's probably a dumb question. So if you ever see me at a match, I will be running a black, red, and blue. Okay. My blue will be my 155, my red is my 140, and my black is my 170. And they always sit in the same spot unless I'm planning to reload into my 155. There you go. So my 170 sits on my magnet whenever I'm making ready or whatever. Mm-hmm. My 140 is what I reload into. And then my 155 is on my hip. And the 140 reloading is because it's the lightest one to reload. And also what I'm used to. Okay. Because I shot limited for forevers. Yeah. I know. So I'm used to the 140 millimeter mags, and so it's just kind of. I have a dumb question. When you reload, does that reloaded magazine have
full capacity, or do you take one off the top or two off the top? Or
I take 2 off of it.
take two off. Same. A lot of people don't know to do that. I learned it the hard way with a rifle, because if you have full mag, oh, that's the thing, and you got bolt closed, it doesn't like to click on a full one.
Yeah, I've done that too with
It just drops.
And also at the same time, whenever the mag springs start getting weaker, you can add more and it will not fit. I used to be able to get 30 alone in my 170. That sucker does not fit.
That's awesome.
Trust me.
So for the springs, how often are you replacing the springs?
I think it's once a year.
Okay. Do you run a competition follower?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
again, my dad does most of this, so
yeah. I have 50 questions for new people. Like, I don't really have a lot of open, or haven't had an open shooter. Maybe I have. I don't know. But like for competition, you want that extra load in there, so you don't want your slide locking back. You want full capacity.
Yeah. Actually, mine does not lock back. So
yeah. Well, and at high, I mean, neither does mine. At a high capacity, if you're shooting high cap and you have click and there's no ammo, you're already in a problem.
Yeah, especially in open, you're done.
You're done. You're out.
That stage is done for you. You're not gonna have a fun time.
Yeah. So for you, okay, shooting a major match, doesn't have to be nationals, but just in general, what is your mix or your recipe to win a major match? Is it speed, accuracy, certain like target array points, being consistent? Like, what percentage are you trying to shoot the stage in? Like, all of that.
I try to be consistent as I can.
Okay.
While also shooting as best as I can.
Are you pushing a little bit or reserving, or what? How do you?
So, A6, best example for this. I kind of reserved myself for the first day.
Okay.
And I was lazy on my dot, so it cost me 4 mics.
Okay.
In like 5 stages. Because I shot the half day like you did.
Yeah.
So I shot 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay.
And I had mic on 10 and 2 on 12. The 1 shot per.
Yeah.
I had 2 mics on that. Was not happy. So with it being 2 days, I'm like, okay, stop holding yourself back.
Right.
Shoot what you can. See your dot. Let's go. And I ended up being 86% of the winner.
Yeah. Nice. But in general, like when you start out, a match and major match, one that you have potential to win, stuff in place, you are holding back a little, or are you trying
just
to go
a little bit? Unless I'm starting to pull dumb things, then I go back to where I was.
Yeah.
Like South Carolina, perfect example of this. I had the worst first stage I possibly could. I had 2 mics and a slow time.
Okay.
For open. Let me rephrase that. For open, it was a slow time.
Yeah.
And I had a slow time on the next stage, and I'm like, and then I came to the one with the clamp, the max strap, and the swinger. Remember that one?
Yep. Crushed the clamp, not the swinger.
Yeah. Did you ever see my video on that? Where the swinger wasn't going?
No.
I hit the popper this low. Just probably an inch low off the calibrations zone.
Uh-huh.
Didn't fall. Nope.
Yeah.
That was 3 mics in a procedural.
Yeah,
I had a mic somewhere else in the stage.
That stage crushed my soul too. And I was like, this will be fun. And I had alphas on the clamp. I'm normally not that good. And I did the whole steel and did the right thing. And then no.
I don't remember if I ever posted that one because I really hated it.
Well, it's embarrassing, right? You want to post the reel, but at the same time, you're like, that was just not a fun time.
I may post it for
now.
Years. Yeah. So they actually know what I'm meaning.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember if I ever posted that because it was such a bad stage for me.
But okay, looking back though, that one stage, it'll cost you some placements, sure, but it's not the end of the match, right?
Oh no. After that, I had the best stages of my entire match. My last stage of the day, I was one of the fastest times with the GMs.
Nice.
So I was like 12 seconds.
Nice.
People like Dexter Bradley, which is an AMU shooter, was 12 seconds, 11 seconds.
Yeah.
Drummond was around 11 or 12. Tilly was 11 or 12. But I had a mic no shoot on that damn swinger. I was this close to a good killer stage, but then I had a mic no shoot, and I didn't care because I was already having a bad day at that point, and it was the end. So I'm like, and I think I was the last shooter, so I was just done.
Yeah, but that's kind of the thing that I look back on matches and like I really shouldn't give up at that point or not care, right? Like,
Give up.
no,
I just stopped caring about my points and everything. So after the clamshell, the max trap swinger stage, I said to myself, let's just burn this thing down. Come on. I got nothing left. I mean, 4 mics and a procedure on one stage killed my match.
Sure.
And after that, I ended up being 70-something%.
Yeah, it's still a good match. Still good.
Yeah, but for where I am,
right,
that's not where I want to be.
But most people, I mean, right. So yeah, different classes, maybe like B class, A class. One stage probably isn't going to be the differentiating factor in winning.
Master, it's gonna take you out of it.
Yeah.
GM.
It's the same thing with gun malfunctions. As soon as I felt, like PCC, I'm like, like Isaac, I watched him in Area 6 in his gun jam, and I was like, oh, you already know, like when you're competing with Max and Lena, and like you're out. Bye.
Yeah. Max, Lena, Justine.
Yeah. Poor Isaac, but he's still smiling. Best guy. That's why I just I love it. I'm like, you're happy, like I'm shooting, and I'm in the country.
You can throw so much trash at him joking around, and he will still be smiling. It's like.
Yeah, most military guys are like that too, which is what you need though. I think across the board, like how important is it to have tough skin in this industry?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. A lot of people mess around a lot, and you need to have tough skin to really deal with it and not get in your head during a match.
Oh yeah. Mental.
I let it get to me a lot of times whenever I was younger.
Yeah. But now it's because people love you.
Yeah. And also my dad made me have tough skin for messing with me.
That's good.
However many years.
Yep, my dad's the same. That's good. So back to shooting. What other tips? It's funny. What other tips do you have for shooting a dot that you can share with people that are new to shooting a dot? Whether it's drills or practice or
completely watch your dot. Like let it kind of bounce around. Know where it's at, but don't watch it. Look at the target and see where your dot is compared to it.
Yeah. What drills did you first work on to? Like drawing, target, transition, reload, and back up? Like what does that look like?
I did a lot of what's it called? I can't think of the name of it. I did a lot of doubles.
Okay.
And then distance changeup. That's the name of it. I did a lot of that, getting used to transitions.
Distance changeup. What does that mean?
So it's 3 targets. One, I don't remember the distances.
Okay.
But it's 3 targets at different distances, and it's just 2 on each.
So it'd be like 5, maybe 15, maybe pushing you out to like.
Maybe. I think maybe. Yeah. I think it's like 7, 10, and 15 or whatever.
Okay. And you're looking to see if you're jerking or if you're left, right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or if you're after you transition to the alpha instead of just anywhere on paper.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Where do you zero your dot at?
12 yards.
12. Okay. Perfect. I always ask that for people with dots.
I do remember that because I actually did it with my dad.
Yeah. That's good. You need to know this. Yeah. I had to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another dumb question.
Fortunate thing, there's also no holdover on my dot. So
yeah, that was the question.
There's no holdover, so I don't really worry about all that.
Yeah, and for shooting a dot too, like when you're sighting it in, are you bench resting or are you just doing it? With
so we bench rest it at 12, and then I shoot it offhand at 12.
Okay.
Just to know where it's hitting, and then we bring it in to see the holdover.
Okay.
One of these days, I want to shoot at 100 yards just to see where it hits. Because there is a rifle range on the local range.
Mm-hmm.
For those wondering, my local range is the same range that I had A6.
Cool.
And that's also the same. My dad and Jessica's dad run the local match.
Yeah.
For that range.
The Belton Gun Club. Yeah.
Well, no, we run Rowan. Belton was South Carolina.
Gosh, I'm all over the place. Area 6.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I've been this whole year.
It's been a crazy year.
It has. Okay, so You're getting top 10, top 5, pretty high up there in a lot of majors. I know you come back and you're like, yeah, I messed up here. But do you take away wins from some of your stages and your times and stuff?
Yeah, like I said with my last stage of South Carolina, I was right there with the time, and I know I can repeat that time with better hits.
Right. Yeah. So you do take away wins. It's not all negative.
Yeah.
You take
Oh
away.
yeah. I take away both. I mean, on my wall, I have every single trophy I've ever gotten with shooting.
Nice.
Which there's one from Georgia State last year, North Carolina last year. Well, the year before, 2019 North Carolina, 2019 Tennessee, and then South Carolina this year. I won high overall junior.
Nice. So what are your goals for shooting them in coming up?
Winning junior.
Where? Always.
At I got A8 coming up, North Carolina, Virginia,
and
then Nats.
Okay.
Nats is the only one I'm not focused on winning junior. It's a top 5.
Yeah, but you want to be up there, but your realistic expectations too.
Yeah, I'm being realistic about that one, seeing how there's a lot of good juniors around the nation. So
yeah, but okay, like we were talking about before, how important is it to say in your game, think about your match and not
for sure
what people are doing, because what happens?
You get caught up in their match and you throw your mind off.
Yeah,
I've done it a bunch.
And then you sometimes look at scores and you're like, oh, they messed up. Oh, they.
Yeah, the biggest thing is your competition also messes up.
Yep.
No matter who it is.
Yep.
There is mess ups they have. Even the top guys mess up, but it just doesn't look like a mess up to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And then is it easier for you? I have this problem sometimes squatting with the people you're like really competing against, or is it easier to just not have them on your squad and just have your game?
Kind of both. I did both. Like Virginia, I'm shooting with a bunch of buddies that are same class or higher than me.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina, I'm working it, so I'm with other staff members.
Yep.
I kind of just let the squad go how it is. I actually don't really know any of the people I'm shooting with personally, so.
Oh, that might be good though. Sometimes you meet people and then you're not really stressed.
Georgia State 2020. I was shooting with John Browning, Jacob Hetherington.
The crew.
Yeah.
So good.
And I was watching those guys to see where good times would be.
Okay.
I watch where their times are. Mm-hmm. I don't fully get focused on their hit factors or anything.
Right. Well, their hit factors are there.
Oh, yeah.
But they're beasts.
Because there were sometimes I shot before them, so I looked at my time compared to theirs, and I was right around theirs.
Yeah.
There's a few stages I went back and forth with Hetherington.
It's awesome.
Which was surprising to me at the time. Even though he's shooting production, but that was still.
He's still, really good.
Seeing how he won Nats last year. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you do have people like shooters or people that you're looking to not necessarily beat, but like keep up with. That keeps you competitive.
Another master junior shooter. He's like a little brother to me. He's 15 now, I think.
Is there a fine balance though between trying to like compete on their level or compare yourself to them and still know what, your limits are?
Yeah. I only look at their scores whenever the match is over. Okay.
I like it. Do you check yours though?
I check my scores, yeah.
Okay.
So at like local matches, I just shoot how I can.
Right.
And if I beat them, I beat them. If I didn't, okay.
Right.
I try to watch their videos if they post them. See what was different between ours.
Yeah.
Go from there.
That's the biggest thing for learning, I think, even for me in 3-gun, is seeing when people post video stages actually helps me like, hey, did I do that? Or, oh, I missed that, reloading spot, or, oh, that's smart. Like, or it's like, oh, I did that better. No. Most of my learning has come from watching people's Instagrams or YouTubes. Yeah. Do you pause at anything or slow them down at all or just? Oh, yeah. Watch it? Yeah. Yep. A lot of people don't do that. Yeah. So like, Area 8 last year, Christian shot it the day before me. Okay. And
there was like a week straight I watched his compared to mine, his match compared to mine, see where it was different.
Mm-hmm.
And also I shot with Vlieger at the same time, so I watched his match. That was the downfall. I watched his match instead of just shooting mine.
Yep.
Because he was 2 shooters before me or something. Because we went by last name.
Yeah. That's really important. So talk about like, when do you stop resetting and what do you do when you're on deck or in the hole? Like, what does that look like?
Whenever I'm in the hole, I just completely tune everything out. I put on my other earmuffs because I double muff shooting open.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Kind of have to.
Yep.
And I just walk to the back of the bay in my mind, seeing what I need to see about the stage.
And you're not watching the person shooting.
Nope.
Because that'll mess you up real quick.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Depends
but for you,
how...
watching Vlieger too before you shot.
Oh, yeah. It depends on the person. If it's
Yeah.
like Vlieger or something, yes, that will mess me up. If it's somebody not in my division or not at my skill level, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. The other thing, like, walkthroughs, a lot of people don't go see targets first. Like, they get on stage and like, all right, here's where I'm gonna start.
Yeah, I don't really look at targets all the time.
You're one of those.
I go for I look at the round count first.
Okay.
And see what I can see from this stage. And if I'm missing something, then I go look where the targets are.
That's the worst. Maybe that's your process.
Yeah.
That's good. Count how many shots you have and where the targets are.
Yeah, there's been a few times where I messed myself up on memory stages, not looking at the round count, and I just kind of...
Oh, you would hate shotgun jungle runs. It's so funny. We had a 42 round shot.
There's a reason I don't shoot 3 guns.
I know, but it was so funny because somebody came out, they're like, yeah, we have 47. I'm like, nope, we have 42. You counted 5 targets twice. They're like, I have 38. Nope. And you don't know where they're missing it because
there's too much memory with that stuff. It's just...
No, it's not. It's awesome. If you could try anything different from USPSA Open Division, what would you try that you've never shot before? Any sort of shooting.
I mean, I want to try 3 gun.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of mental preparation and all that for each of those matches.
Okay, when you're ready, let me know.
Maybe a couple years.
I don't care. I'll be here. You call me. Okay. If you could tell yourself like something to do early on in shooting when you were getting started, maybe like, before 2019, trying to take it seriously or what have you, what would it have been? Like, what would have you told your younger self?
Don't get caught up in your mics at local matches, at least.
Okay.
And there's been majors where I've outrun mics. Again,
what do you mean by outrun? I'm just trying to help people that don't really know.
So at like South Carolina, my time was fast enough on each stage to kind of get rid of the mics. I had 10 mics or so at South Carolina, and I was still 70-something%.
Because you were fast enough on the overall time.
Yeah, I was 143 seconds overall.
Okay.
And I think the top guys were 120.
But plus penalties, is that raw time? Or is that...
Oh, just raw time.
Raw time, yeah.
I was right there.
Yeah, okay. So you do look at raw time at the end and see what they're doing in. Okay. I like these little tips. That's what I look at too, though. I'm like, I was 100. Well, I'll be like, I was 100 seconds faster, and yet I had more penalties. So, yeah. That's 3 gun at least. That adds up quick.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If you're 100 seconds faster and you're still losing.
So, yeah.
And USPSA, it's like, how many penalties did you get?
Right. I hit everything. Why?
Or how many times did your gun break?
Yeah, that too. All right, Matthew. Well, anything else you want to talk about, or anything else you want to advice you want to leave people with?
Just shoot to your best ability and don't get caught up in politics and crap with shooting. There's a lot of that, and let's not get into that. You know exactly what I'm referring to. Too.
I'm like, no.
You know exactly what I'm referring to.
Yeah. So, okay, how can people find you online on social media?
So you can find my YouTube, which is hard. Like I said to Kenzie before recording, there's a golfer with my same exact name. So if you want to go through YouTube and try to find that, go ahead. But best way is probably the YouTube link in my Instagram bio, which is USPSA_Wolff. Yes, I know it's generic, but it works.
USPSA_Wolff with 2 F's, right?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Or on Facebook, just my name.
I like it. Any shout out you want to give to sponsors that support you?
Outdoor Dynamics and Shooting Sports Innovations.
Awesome. Matthew, thanks for being on the podcast. Thanks for dropping the knowledge, and hopefully we'll get you in 3-gun one day.
We'll see.
You can teach me to be a better shooter in USPSA.
Come to North Carolina. I got you.
I will. All right. Thanks again for joining. And those for tuning in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Thanks for listening to the Reticle Up podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Follow along on social media at Reticle Up or 3Gun Kenzie.